I heard there was this podcast, yo, about something funny like wrestling and so. And you really care about wrestling, don't you? There are drop kicks and leases all over the board, and then something called the Wrestling Hold. It's a super duper fun podcast about wrestling. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. Well, Fro and Bill and maybe a guest or two is here to hold your hand and guide you through a podcast about wrestling. We have a lot of extreme fun, and that's without the gun, because I needed something to rhyme fun with. That wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show. Well, sit your behinds gently down and listen to our podcast sound, and try to guess this week's pro question. You win a lot of cool things, and also help Bill with his bills. That's a super duper fun competition. That wrestling show. 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 That wrestling show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And this is episode number 299, which means we're only 1 week away from something happening. I don't know what. Do you know what's happening next week?
Armageddon?
I think Armageddon is next week, yeah.
Yep.
I love that movie. Oh, George W. Anyway, this week, we are going to discuss the latest news, which actually has been very quiet this week, so...
No news this week.
Yeah, I know. It's a very quiet week, so that's probably a good thing.
Even a page hasn't been in the news.
I know! We're page-free this week.
Yeah.
To coin a phrase. Plus, we're gonna preview, we will preview the two events that we'll be covering on Twitter this coming Saturday. Give you the rundown on both of those shows, and we're gonna do another round of contests and more. But before we get to that, I want to tell everyone that we do have an update on the big convention coming up that I will be going along with Brian on September 30th, the Tribute to the Legends convention. We have some new names added to this, and I'm sure you're dying in anticipation. So
I am dying in general.
Aww.
Well,
let me tell you who. Let's remind everyone who will be there. The main attraction, besides me and Brian, will be Goldberg. I know. Everyone will be like, "Oh, hi, Goldberg." Yeah. No, just joking. Goldberg is the main attraction. He'll be there from 10 to 3. It will be hosted once again this year by Bill Apter from, well, just about everything you could think of. Magazines, pictures, online, you name it, he's done it. Previous guests that we have announced that will be there include Francine, and you can actually go to rfvideo.com right now and you can pre-order to get your ticket for either an autograph or a picture or possibly both with her. Jillian Hall will be there, Gary Michael Capetta, Rosemary from Impact Wrestling will be there, and Madison Rayne will be there. Now to the new names. We have some new names to announce this week if you are coming to Joppa on the 30th of September. They include Henry Godwin, Gilbert. That's right.
Oh my God.
Goldberg and Gilbert will be in the same venue.
Oh my God.
This is.
I hope they meet.
It's a historic.
Each other?
I don't think they've. I don't know. I don't know if they've ever met each other.
I hope so.
Oh my goodness. Brian Christopher, aka Grandmaster Sexay, will be there, and he's also going to be competing that night as well. And Colonel Robert Parker will be there as well.
Sure.
None of the matches have been announced yet for the actual show that night. I want to remind everyone that the convention hours are from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Doors open at 9 a.m. for those with a VIP pass, 9:30 for everybody else. The show will be at 6:30 p.m. The doors open at 5:30 p.m. You know, I'll tell you, I do have a quick Colonel Parker story to mention, because I actually did get an autograph from him years ago, and because I remember Colonel Robert Parker when I was a kid, and you know, I asked him about the hat. You know, I thought it was a really neat hat, so I asked him, you know, what size hat do you wear? I forgot the number. It was a normal sized hat. So then he asked me, well, what size hat do you wear? I said, I wear a size 8. Good Lord, boy! Good Lord! Yes, folks, I have a big head.
Yeah, too bad nothing is in it.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah. So, yes.
Oh, you suck.
Oh
my goodness. But yeah, that's the current update on that convention. Like I said, when I get any new updates, I'll let you guys know about the new updates. So, yeah. Real quick. I always say real quick, but let's update everyone on the tournament for the greatest Intercontinental Champion. The third round has concluded, and we are now into the Sweet 16, so the tournament is almost over, folks. Here are the results, and there were no close matches this week. There really weren't.
No,
there was like
there wasn't.
There was one, but it was like 4 was the difference. But Jeff Jarrett defeated Rey Mysterio. Goldust defeated Pedro Morales. Randy Savage defeated Wade Barrett. Bret Hart defeated Chris Benoit. Kurt Angle defeated Kane. Shawn Michaels defeated the Magnificent Morocco. Edge defeated the Honky Tonk Man. So all you Honky Tonk Man fans out there, sorry, the self-proclaimed greatest Intercontinental Champion is gone. And Mr. Perfect defeated Roddy Piper. So, a quick note before I tell everyone what the Sweet 16 matches are. Of the people who were in that very first round, if you remember back, I think it was like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, Kurt Angle is the only one that advanced from round one that is still in this tournament, in this voting. Into the into the Sweet 16. So, this week, the voting will be for all of the matches this week. So we're gonna do the entire round this week. So here are the matches that you guys will be voting on. Chris Jericho will take on Rick Rude. Dolph Ziggler will take on Razor Ramon. Eddie Guerrero will face Kofi Kingston. Triple H will face the Ultimate Warrior. Jeff Jarrett will face Goldust. Randy Savage will face Bret Hart. Oh, yeah, these are some good matches. Kurt Angle will face Shawn Michaels. And Edge will take on Mr. Perfect. And the winners of those will advance to the quarterfinals of our tournament. And we'll announce next week on the 300th episode who advances to the quarterfinals of that tournament.
Cool.
Yeah. We do have a winner.
Competition? Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, competition time?
Yeah, we do have a winner from last week.
Oh.
The question, which was really, I think the quickest I think it's ever been answered. If you remember, folks, the question last week was, who did CM Punk defeat in the main event of SummerSlam 2009? The answer was Jeff Hardy, and in literally 2 minutes, that's how long it took, 2 minutes, we had a winner. And it is Chris O'Mealy who won an entry into the big SummerSlam drawing. And we have only 2 weeks to go for entries before the big drawing, which will take place during our live SummerSlam preview spectacular.
And that means it's competition time again.
Woohoo!
And we go to the really, really known pay-per-view Backlash from 2007.
Backlash 07.
2007.
2007, okay. Not the year 7.
Nope.
2007.
Do you remember anything about this?
I remember that they were coming off a pretty good WrestleMania. Does that help?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's begin. There was a dark match, a singles match between Johnny Nitro and Carlito. Who won?
Oh my gosh. Johnny Nitro and Carlito.
Yes, a dark match.
Okay. I'm going to say that Carlito won that match.
He did, actually.
Oh, alright. I thought so.
Then we have a tag team match. It's the Hardys against Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch.
Who was the first? Who was the first team again?
The Hardys.
The Hardys. Okay.
Yeah. Who is Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch?
Wow.
Is it okay that I ask that?
Yeah. Okay. Lance Cade was a student of Shawn Michaels' Texas Wrestling Academy.
Okay.
He would later be involved in that feud that Jericho had with Shawn Michaels in 2008. That probably does not help you that much.
And Trevor Murdoch?
Oh, I loved Trevor Murdoch. I thought he was very underrated. He was a big guy, probably 280. I think he's still wrestling, but he's not. I don't know. I don't know what happened with him.
Muller most recently wrestled for Rinka King, actually.
Wow, that was years ago.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the match.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. You're just giving me good memories about Trevor Murdoch. I think I'm gonna say the Hardys won that match.
Yeah, because I don't remember having titles on those two people I never heard of.
Right.
Then we had Melina against Mickie James for the WWE Women's Championship.
Okay. I'm going to say that Melina won that match.
She did.
All right. Very good. Very good.
Then we have a singles match for the WWE United States Championship. You have Chris Benoit. Whoever is that? Never heard about him.
No.
Against because they're trying to erase him.
They thankfully they have not erased him on the WWE network. So
against MVP.
And the reason I say thankful is because it's like if you took Hitler out of history, there just is no history. So
right.
So I'm gonna say the guy that was Chris Benoit won that match.
Yep. Then you have a handicap match for the ECW
Oh God.
World Championship.
Yep.
And it's McMahon, Shane McMahon, and Umaga against Bobby Lashley.
Oh man. And thus began perhaps the worst championship reign of all time.
Yep.
Because it was Vince McMahon who scored the winning fall and became the ECW champion.
That was so sad. I remember that. It was so bad.
It was.
Then we have The Undertaker against Batista.
Oh.
Last man standing match.
Alright. Because I remember the match that they had at WrestleMania was actually a very good match.
Yep.
That's a trick question. Because that match ended in a draw.
That's correct. Then you have a fatal four-way for the WWE Championship. It was Randy Orton, John Cena, Edge, and Shawn Michaels.
Wow, they didn't have a lot on this show, did they?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, sounds like it. Unlike SummerSlam coming up. And this question is for me, right?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to...
Deal for you.
Okay. Yeah, John Cena won that match.
Yeah, it did.
Alright.
And I can tell you some other facts about it.
Please.
It was on the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, Georgia.
It was 14,500 in attendance.
Alright.
That's pretty much. But my question is, who is on the promotional poster for Backlash.
Oh my God! I don't know.
And he's parodying the movie The Shining. I can tell you that. So, who is the front person on the promotional poster parodying the movie The Shining?
Wow.
That is the question for the listeners.
Yeah, thank you for not giving me that one, because I would. You would have gotten me on that. Actually, you know what? Just so I know who it was, I'm going to look it up.
I'm going to send you that.
Oh, okay. Save me some time.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Where?
I'll even send you the promotional picture.
Alright. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It does.
It does. Alright, so if you get that question right, you will get another entry into the big drawing coming up, which is only 2 weeks away. 2 whole weeks. Oh, okay, and you send me the photo. So,
yeah.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh gosh, yeah, that does.
Such a stupid picture.
It is.
Okay. Anyway.
Alright, we got small news to talk about here. Do you remember at any point this year watching Southpaw Regional Wrestling?
No.
Oh my gosh, bro, you would have loved it.
Never ever seen it.
Oh my gosh, it was on WWE.com. It was one of the funniest original things they'd done in a long time.
It was with John Cena and things?
Yeah,
right?
It was John Cena, Rusev, Lana, Jericho, Breezango. Oh gosh, who else was on that? Who else? Oh, Gallows and Anderson were on it.
Yeah, I should probably see it.
You should. Oh my gosh, it is so funny. Well, I'm here to tell you guys that we're going to get another round of Southpaw Regional Wrestling at some point. Not sure when. But
have they announced it?
They have not announced it, but Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com mentioned this because Natalya, there were photos of Natalya that popped up on social media recently featuring her dressed similar to the Glow Girls on the Netflix series, and she's going to be in the next round of Southpaw Regional Wrestling.
Right.
Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to that, because that first one was freaking hilarious.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. It was great. Let's see, what other news is there? Okay. Well, this is sort of big. This is big news, I think, for Ring of Honor. For years, whenever they go to Chicago, for years, from like 2004, they would be in Chicagoland, Illinois. I can't think of the name of the venue that they were in, but they've been in the Chicagoland area forever. Well, they recently announced that the next time they are in the Chicagoland area, which is Sunday, October the 15th, they will be debuting in a brand new venue, or at least it will be a new venue for Ring of Honor. It will be, and you ECW fans might know this place, the Odeum Expo Center in Villa Park, Illinois. Why would the ECW fans remember that? Because that is where ECW Anarchy Rules 99 took place. So Ring of Honor will be there for the first time, and Kenny Omega will make his first title defense of the IWGP United States title on American soil on October the 15th.
Cool.
I like that news. I really like that news. Alright. I want to bring up a topic, Fro, that was brought up on the Scorecard podcast, another show that I do this week, and it does pertain to WWE, and that is with Brock Lesnar. This past Saturday night, at the latest UFC event, after a victory in his fight, John Bones Jones, it's a pretty decent nickname,
Yeah.
called out Brock Lesnar in his post-fight interview,
Yes.
asking him if he wants to find out what it would be like getting his ass kicked by someone 40 pounds lighter than him. So
I really hope this would happen. But
and that's what Ted said too. Now, Jones, on the post-game show that night on Fox Sports 1, when asked about this challenge, this is what he said. Quote, "I'm up for it. It's about time for me to be in a super fight. Fans want me to challenge myself and get to heavyweight and challenge the biggest and scariest guy in the octagon. There's a lot of fresh blood in the light heavyweight division. We'd like to rule the division, but I feel like I don't have much to prove. But I'd like to challenge myself and get paid. I haven't worked much." So, after that was said, Brock Lesnar responded to John Jones, and he commented to the Associated Press the following, and it's very simple and to the point. "Be careful what you wish for, young man."
yep.
So, you have said it, and I'd like to know your reason why you would like to see John Jones against Brock Lesnar.
Of course.
What do you have a reason?
Because it would be a really fast match, I think,
Mm-hmm.
where Brock Lesnar is going to win.
Ooh, you think he's gonna win that fight? Okay.
Yep.
Well, according to odds makers who have already made odds for this fight, even though it has not officially been announced happening yet, they have John Jones as the favorite.
But don't they have Floyd Mayweather as the favorite in that match as well?
Oh, against Conor McGregor, yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, yeah. And for those who are curious, if you'd like to get in on that particular bet, the Lesnar Jones bet, you have until New Year's Eve 2018 to make your bet on that
Yep.
fight. So,
Long time ago.
yeah, you've got a year and a half basically to, to get your money in on that. We talked about the big fight with Mayweather and McGregor going to be in the movie theater. Well, guess what? If you live in New Hampshire, you have a chance to see Summerslam at the movie theater this year.
Good.
It is at a movie theater, and I kid you not, this is the name of the movie theater, called Chunky's. It is in Nashua, New Hampshire. Let me read you the details on this. This is actually pretty cool. WWE's biggest party of the summer returns to the big screen at Chunky's Nashua.
Sorry, that's such a bad name.
For only $15. $15. You receive admission and a $5 off food voucher to be used towards your food purchase in the theater. Doors open at 6. The Universal Championship will be decided in a fatal 4-way match at Summerslam. But they had a typo here. When Brock Lesnar defends his title against Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman at SummerSlam on Sunday, August 20th. And they have it rated PG-13.
Would you go?
If I lived there, I probably would.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's obviously a lot cheaper than the Mayweather-McGregor fight, but...
Yeah.
Well, you know what? And it's sort of interesting that they're doing this because, and I want to mention this as well, F4W, Figure 4 Weekly, and the Wrestling Observer, they're doing their annual convention gathering in Las Vegas, which I would love to attend one year. And one of the things that they're going to do is they're going to watch SummerSlam at a movie theater in Las Vegas.
Oh.
So, if you can't make it to Las Vegas and you live in New Hampshire and you live by Nashua, you can go to this movie theater where they are showing such movies as the Emoji Movie, Valerian...
Oh, we talked about that movie on another digital system this week. Oh.
Valerian in the City of 1,000 Planets, and War for the Planet of the Apes, among others.
War of the Planet? Yeah, that was really good, actually.
And also the soon-to-be Academy Award-winning movie, Girls Trip. I stand by what I said last week, folks. That was the funniest movie I have seen all year.
Okay.
I stand by that. So, all right. Well, we still have more, small news to talk about. And tell me if you've heard this sentence before, Fro. You ready?
Okay.
Terry Funk is
I'm
coming.
bored.
Terry Funk is coming back to wrestling.
Yes, I have heard that before.
Well, folks, he is coming back.
Again.
73-year-old Terry Funk, God bless his soul,
Why?
is returning to the ring. He's being advertised.
Money?
He's got plenty of money.
Why is he doing it?
I think he's doing it because he loves it. He is being advertised for big-time wrestling for September 23rd and September 24th in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Charleston, South Carolina. On those shows, he will team up with the Rock and Roll Express in a 6-man tag match to face Jerry Lawler, Doug Gilbert, and Brian Christopher.
AKA 6 men that shouldn't wrestle.
Well, 5 of them probably shouldn't. Brian Christopher's still a young man. He can...
How old is he?
Who, Terry Funk?
No, Brian.
He's got to be in his, 40s, maybe almost 50s.
Yeah, that's distant.
Also on that
isn't too bad.
On that show in the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium on September 23rd, they're going to have a legendary battle with Billy Gunn against Gangrel.
Ooh.
So, and I've actually, you know what? I'll be serious. I've been to one of those shows, Big Time Wrestling, and they're not like Ring of Honor or Impact or any of those, but they can put on a good show. They can.
Yeah, then they're nothing like Impact, because Impact couldn't put on a good show if they were given all WWE wrestlers.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Huh. All right.
I have kind of a story. Can I tell a story about
Yes, please do, because you don't want to know where we're going next with this. So, please tell your story.
So, I was talking to my sister the other day. I'm not sure which age. And we were talking about like weird things to like, and we were talking about wrestling, and I was like, yeah, one of my favorite TV shows was a show called Impact. Oh, yeah, thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, then they went to a station called Pop.
Yep.
She's like, Pop TV? She lives in Utah. And she's like, I've never heard of Pop TV. I was like, yeah. And now they are called Global Force Wrestling Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, have they changed their website? Or?
The website still reads ImpactWrestling.com.
Oh. Fantastic.
Let me check if Global Force Wrestling is still a website.
I hope so.
Surprisingly, it is still a website.
Is it directing you to Impact.com?
No, it does not.
Does it have a shop?
It does. It still exists on Global Force Wrestling.
Oh my gosh.
I can. Oh, wait a minute. Don West is here. Oh, thank you, Mel. This is amazing.
What amazing things can you buy from Global Force Wrestling, man?
Well, let me tell you, Fro. We got the autographed and personalized Global Force Wrestling guitar with Jeff Jarrett on it. It only costs you $175. And then
someone send me that stupid guitar. I promise you, I will burn it on YouTube.
Plus, we also have the Global Force Wrestling Prize Pack, which includes drawstring backpack t-shirt and 7 8x10s, a $70 value, only $20.
Okay, that's not too bad.
And there is the Global Force Wrestling Black Can Coolie for only $350. $350.
Black Coolie. What is that?
That's you know when you have like a can and you're drinking, and instead of holding it, say like you're out at a party and you want it, to put it somewhere where you can rest it. You just put it in there, and it's sort of like a cup holder.
So it's a coaster?
Like a portable coaster, except you carry it around.
Okay.
You know what? I'm actually on the Impact.
I'm amazed at Global Force Wrestling still has their own shop. How much does the guitar cost at the Impact?
On the Impact Wrestling site?
Yeah.
That is what I'm looking for right now, actually. So.
Because I was thinking maybe it's cheap.
Oh gosh, yes. Okay, you could get. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get the down list. Oh, Fred.
Is it the same guitar? I just have to.
It's a different looking guitar. The original value is $299, but on ImpactWrestling.com you could get it for $79.99. And if you want, you could have it personalized too.
Does it cost extra?
It doesn't look like it, which is weird.
Wow.
And oh, for the love of God, they have an
If
eBay.
I had $80, I would send 2 bills.
They have, bro. I'm not
Okay.
kidding when I tell you the next sentence I'm about to say.
Okay.
There is a Shop TNA eBay store.
No.
Yes.
No. Oh my gosh.
So, for example,
Oh my gosh.
to you parents out there, how would you like to have the coolest kid at school? What better way to say I love you than buying a 20-pack of Impact Wrestling pencils for $4.99 plus free shipping?
That's horrendous.
That's child abuse right there.
That is child abuse.
That is mental child abuse.
It should be like this. It should be like if you put it in your cart and you push like send, you will be automatically like sent to the CIA website for surrender.
Oh my god. They also have, and I don't know if you remember this or not, the Hulk Hogan's main event video game.
Oh yeah.
They have that for $9.99.
Oy, oy, oy.
Let's see.
Oh.
They have about 100 items on here. 101 to be precise.
How is that possible? You don't have 100 wrestlers. There's
Well,
like 5 left.
let me show you the most disturbing one, or at least the most disturbing picture.
Okay.
It is.
You sure I want to see this?
Oh yeah, you're gonna. This is going to be in our Facebook group this week. Everyone is
Okay.
going to see this today. It is an autographed Brian Kendrick picture. Now let me just say for the record. Let me just say for the record. I am a Brian Kendrick fan. I like Brian Kendrick. But Fro, my God, this is one of the most disturbing images I've ever seen in my life.
Please send it to me.
It's being sent right now.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my! Oh my!
Oh yeah.
Oh my! Ryan Kendrick!
Holy cow.
Oh my gosh!
I'm actually trying to see.
Oh my gosh! Someone find my new profile picture.
Okay, I think I've found.
That is
I think I have
atrocious.
found the most expensive item on here, but it's a legitimate reason why this is the most expensive item.
Okay.
For $265 plus free shipping, you can get an embroidered turnbuckle from Lockdown 2014
Ooh.
for $265. So
Ooh.
that's actually not that bad.
No.
I thought it would be something stupid. That would be the most
Yeah.
expensive item, but thankfully it's not. So
Oh, that's a picture of Ryan Kendrick. Oh my god.
Yep. One of a kind, isn't it?
That is the most funny thing I've seen in my entire life.
Yep. Alright, well, now we're going to torture Fro some more because we're going to get into some Global Force Wrestling news.
Yeah.
For those who are curious, as of this recording, Alberto El Patron is still suspended by the company, which is really not much of a surprise. If you attend this coming Saturday's Global Force Wrestling event in Staten Island, New York, you get deported out of the United States. No.
No, you should.
No. They are teasing a special gift for those in the audience. We don't know what that is, but if you go...
It's a special gift that you get to go home.
Oh, actually, here's a press release. This might this might be the answer, Fro, right here.
Okay.
The first ever 5-pack trading card set released by Global Force Wrestling will be distributed to all fans attending the live event this Saturday, August 5th. And collecting insiders have already said that the set will be highly sought after, extremely rare, and hard to find.
Since nobody.
The event will be held at the Richmond County Bank Ballpark at St. George, home of the Staten Island Yankees, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, the gates opening to the general public at 5. An exclusive pre-show meet and greet with select talent kicks off at 4 p.m. for price level 1 and 2 ticket holders. GFW officials announced today that the 5-pack trading card set will include Bobby Lashley, EC3, Cowboy James Storm, Ali, and LAX. According to collecting insiders, all 5 cards will be must-have collectibles for wrestling fans.
Do you think they believe their own shit?
They probably do.
I don't think so.
When you're Jeff and Karen Jarrett,
yeah,
you can believe whatever you want.
It's so sad, though. It is still sad for me to think about what Impact was and what Impact is.
Yep. Oh, actually, real quick, I made a mistake in the previous story with Ring of Honor. Kenny Omega will not be defending the IWGP United States title. He will be in action that night, but he will not be defending that title. So, just to clarify that. Speaking of Karen Jarrett, and we did not talk about this last week because I thought this was the biggest joke of a story ever. There were reports that had come out that there had been a confrontation at a bar in Nashville between Karen Jarrett and Braun Strowman.
Oh, please say true.
Well,
please
part of that is true. Part of that is true.
That is funny.
Karen Jarrett went up to Braun Strowman and had asked for an autograph. And
no.
Braun was like, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then this is where the story gets weird because they said, and this is the part that I don't believe, that Karen Jarrett was like, do you know who I am? I was married to Kurt Angle. I ain't gonna go tell Kurt if you don't give me an autograph for my son. I'm like, that's not real. That's not real.
No,
so,
that is a lie.
so today in an interview, Karen Jarrett cleared the air once and for all, saying that we were just having fun, Braun and her being two different personalities. So, you know.
That I can't believe, but no way. No way. She said, "Do you know who I am?" No, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Not even her, she is so egocentric.
Right. One other. Well, there is another. Well, let me get back to this. What was I going to say? Global Force Wrestling. I actually have the card for this Saturday in Staten Island. And they're also doing a show on Friday in Long Island.
So that means that they are doing recordings for December, right?
I don't think this is... I don't know. Well, let's run both cards down.
Okay.
Because what I mean by let's run both cards down, I mean they're almost the same, except for two matches.
What the shock.
Friday night in Long Island at the Sports Arena, the main event is a 6-man tag team match. James Storm, Moose, actually 3 matches, pardon me. James Storm, Moose, and John Hennigan, a.k.a. Johnny Mundo, against Lashley, Eli Drake, and EC3. That's your main event.
Okay,
that's not a bad main event.
Oh.
Other matches include, on that card, a 3-way women's match, Taya, Allie, and Cena. A 3-way men's match, Eddie Edwards, Low Key, and Drago.
No.
KM against Braxton Sutter. LAX against Mario Baccara and Falaba. Falaba. Sanjay Dutt against Trevor Lee. That actually could be a pretty decent match.
Oh yeah, I actually like Sanjay.
And your Create a Pro showcase match, Pat Buck. That is the name of a promotion, I believe. Pat Buck and Bryce Donovan against Johnny Clash and Max Caster.
Never, ever heard of any of them.
All right. Now, for the Saturday show in Staten Island, it is a 6-man tag team.
Should I have heard of them?
Probably not. And that's no disrespect to those guys. The Staten Island show, the main event, is a 6-man tag. However, the teams are changed up a bit. In the main event, it is James Storm, Eddie Edwards, and John Hennigan against Lashley, Low Key, and EC3. Okay, not bad. They also have Taya, Allie, and Sienna in a 3-way match. And then they also have, and I don't know if this is... okay, that's probably a typo, so I'm going to skip that. They have a 3-way match for the men, where KM will face Braxton Sutter and Falaba. That's going to be our new favorite wrestler, Falaba.
I have no clue who that is.
LAX,
Absolutely no clue.
LAX will face Sanjay Dutt and Drago. Mario Baccara will face Trevor Lee. And in another Create a Pro Showcase match, a 6-man tag match, Pat Buck, Dan Moff, and Anthony Bowens will take on the Heavenly Bodies.
Oh, the Heavenly Bodies, I know of.
So not a bad lineup, actually, for both shows.
The problem is the writing.
Well,
between it.
Thankfully, these are house shows, not...
Yeah.
So... Want to hear about Rebby Hardy?
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, my favorite wrestler of all time, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Rebby Hardy...
I don't care about that at all.
Plastic Hardy. She was recently interviewed by Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
No, this is a different thing.
Okay.
In response to the outlet's interview, now we talked about this part last week or 2 weeks ago, where they interviewed Ed Nordholm of Global Force Wrestling.
That was it, yeah.
This was, according to Mike Johnson, an explosive Q&A session. In fact, it was so explosive that PWInsider.com reached out to the promotion for a response and told no comment. So Mike Johnson was able to pull up some of the things that Rebby said. Would you like to hear some of them?
Yes.
All right.
I'm a lunatic. Did she say so? Because that's what she is.
All right. The first thing.
Don't you agree she's a lunatic?
I think so.
Yeah.
I do.
She is batshit crazy.
She's plastic surgery crazy.
Sadly.
Anyway.
She was so pretty.
She was.
She was so pretty.
Oh, so pretty. She was pretty and witty and gay. La 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 la. Sorry, I got carried away.
Yes.
Anyway, so the first one. On GFW's claims that contractually they own the gimmick, Hardy responded, "There is enough question in the contract in terms of gimmick development and intellectual property that our attorneys strongly feel that there is a case. If there were no question about it, like Jeff Jarrett and Ed Nordholm continue to say, then I would not be discussing it, and neither would Matt. There is enough of a question in the contract that it is worth fighting over. If it were as cut and dry as Anthem is trying to make everyone believe, then we would have stopped pursuing it. That's not the case. There are legal questions over the verbiage in the contract, and we have a good chance of winning this battle."
Do you think, like, in all seriousness, do you think it is that is between why she doesn't have a WWE contract?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's because she was pregnant with their second child.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you think she is on the table for WWE at all because of her husband?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because that's like here's my in all seriousness question: does the broken gimmick work without her and Maxwell?
Oh, ooh, wow. That's a hard question to answer.
Because I think it would be better with those two.
Well,
she was maybe one of those things I hated about the broken gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
But in another way, it's also it is also important to bring the family aspect of it into the broken gimmick because it's such a. It depends. I will say this: it depends a little of what they're going to do with his brother, because if he is involved, it makes no sense that she wouldn't, and they can also play Maxwell into it, I guess.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Maxwell, because Maxwell was brought up in this interview.
Okay.
Hardy commented that GWF had no written document saying he could be on set at Universal Studios, which could jeopardize their relationship with the place, where they film on a monthly basis. Another thing that she noted is that her family tried to settle this like civil human beings, but Anthem has been dragging the process out as long as they can. Hardy...
That I really don't think. I believe her on this because I believe they have somewhat they are angry at the Hardys for taking the broken gimmick and running with it.
Yeah.
Hardy,
Hardy,
this I can believe it.
Hardy also claimed that since Global Force never had releases for her father, who portrayed Senior Benjamin, for material she shot, directed, and edited, and for her son, Maxwell, they could pursue those as actionable in court. Now, let me get to the best part, the end.
Okay.
Rebecca Hardy blamed a lot of the issues on Jeff Jarrett, stating his plan was to pay Jeff Hardy all the money and pay Matt as little as possible because Jarrett, quote, believed Matt could not go anywhere without his brother. And this is what Rebby said. F these guys, to put it bluntly. After Matt financed his own shoots and put hours and hours of his own time writing the shows, F these guys. We didn't have any scripts. They're claiming IP. They're claiming this is their character and development. But we never had one script or one shoot sheet. That was all Matt pouring himself into the character and dedicating himself to it. The amount of time and effort he put into this made it his brainchild, which is why this is more of a personal matter than business. It was all our creation, and we can easily prove that it was all us, and it's nothing but ego on their end. Matt refused to resign. They really believed that he could not go anywhere else, and we called them out on their bluff. Ed Nordholm actually told Jeff Hardy's attorney, tell them to go to WWE. Is that the way you negotiate? To try to get someone to sign a shit contract to work at your shit company for shit money? When it comes down to it, this comes down to their ego versus all of the time, effort, and passion we have put into this project and gimmick. This is a personal investment versus ego. I feel like they will never be in agreement without going to court.
Yeah. I completely agree with her for once.
I do as well, but my problem is this. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but her verbiage, her use of language, could come back to bite her in the butt if it goes to court.
Oh, definitely.
And if it does, and if they lose, they'll have no one to blame but her.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But her point is valid.
Oh, very valid.
Because, I mean, the broken gimmick is the brainchild of Matt and Jeff. Definitely.
And it was one of the biggest things that happened all last year.
Was the only, it was the only reason why I watched Impact. Like, I watched Impact during that period because of that gimmick.
Yeah. So...
I also watched the pay-per-view, like, things that... I loved their gimmick match where Maxwell was the wrestler and this or that.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. I loved it.
It was. It really, like, I didn't see it when it happened, but I saw when they had the big fight Matt and Jeff had last summer.
Oh, so good.
And it was so much fun to watch.
Yep. It was so good.
And then when they did Total Nonstop Deletion, because I was recording when that episode was airing.
Yeah.
And I was just in time for that main event. And it was fun to watch.
That main event was so good.
My only concern is, let's say Matt, Rebecca, whoever is involved in this,
right,
get the rights.
Mm-hmm.
How much does WWE touch it? Because you know they're going to want in on it.
I don't think, in all honesty, I think they have been waiting. I think we probably will have a build-up for it for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
That's my totally uninformed guess.
Or it never comes. It could be one of those two.
Yeah, if it happens, it does happen this WrestleMania. Yeah.
And it's in New Orleans. That's a big venue, so...
Yep. Yeah, it would work.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. All right.
Right now, especially, like, can we talk two words about SummerSlam? I know it's...
Oh, yeah, you know what? Did you see last night or today the John Cena Shinsuke Nakamura match?
Yeah.
What was your thought of that match?
I really, really liked it. It was really good. It was a parching of the torch in my eye.
Okay. I enjoy... go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking that this creation for Nakamura, because Nakamura is fantastic. He's a fantastic wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to win at WrestleMania.
You mean SummerSlam?
SummerSlam, I mean.
Alright. I enjoyed that match. Because I had just finished, like, getting the scorecard put up. Just in time to see the match. I enjoyed the match. Even that suplex that Cena took at the end of that match, which was scary as heck. It really
Nakamura said sorry.
Yeah, because if you watch the video, and there is video of it up, because I didn't catch it the first time.
Clearly you see him saying, I'm sorry, and John Cena saying twice,
Don't be sorry. Yep.
Yeah.
So, what really got to me was how, and this is the thing about wrestling fans, we're innocent and guilty on certain things. One of the things that we are guilty of, and what I mean by we, I mean the community is guilty of, is how we overreact to things.
Definitely.
There were so many people overreacting on that suplex. And I'm talking, like, and this is just Facebook, I'm talking former wrestlers, people who have been fans, and I understand where they're coming from, and I respect their opinion. But that's how they do it in Japan. That was a complete accident, what happened.
Yep.
It really was. And Shinsuke knew it was an accident.
That's why he said, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. And I was scared. Like, after that, I was like, oh my God, Shinsuke's going to lose his push. I was really scared to death. But Cena's like, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
Yeah.
And my other complaint is, and this is not my rant. This is not a rant. Unlike the LeVar Ball thing, which was a big rant. Guys, for those who are like, oh, I'm disappointed in Shinsuke Nakamura. He hasn't been what he's supposed to be. Well,
why?
Yeah. I don't think he's been that bad. Sure, he hasn't been the NXT level that he was a year ago, but now he's starting to get comfortable. And all he needed was that one big match. And last night, he got that one big match.
It had a big match feel to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the pacing of it. To be honest, it's one of the better John Cena matches I've seen in a while as well.
And John this is Cena for the first time.
Things in like a shadow. Yeah, it felt like.
And it was the first time they'd ever face each other.
Yeah.
And one thing that I want to say, because I'm going to bring up the latest Bring It to the Table in a little bit.
Right.
JBL made a good point about how there are people who complain about how we get these big pay-per-view like matches for free on TV. And he has a point. I mean, there's both good points to both arguments.
Yeah.
Because with this match, yeah, you could have done it at a pay-per-view. But you did the right thing, I think, by having the first match on television to see how it goes. Because if it went over, which it did, then you know, hey, in 6 months to a year, if we want to put these two on pay-per-view against each other, we got something.
I mean, they had something special.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it. I also saw a lot of complaining for this match, and I don't agree to it on so many different levels. Maybe Nakamura wasn't at his best, but you're not at your best 258 days.
Exactly.
Year.
Exactly.
I know it's not 258.
Yeah, I know. You were just putting out a random number. That's fine.
The thing is, you can't be 110% all your matches. But this was a good match. Stop trying to make things what it's not.
Don't take away the biggest match Shinsuke has had on American soil away from him.
No.
He earned the right to be in that match. He earned the right to face John Cena. And he won. You know?
Do I think he's going to win? That's another thing.
Well,
I don't think so.
We've got 2 weeks to think about that.
The reason why I don't believe so is because of the title range of now I forgot his name.
Mahal.
Yes, Jinder Mahal. He has only gone against, and this is actually true, his only title matches has been against Randy Orton.
The most overrated wrestler of all time.
Yep.
You know, I'm actually surprised no one complained about that to me. Like, oh, Bill, you're a stupid piece of shit. Randy Orton is great. I can't understand why you don't like it. Blah, 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 blah. I'm surprised no one has come up to me with that.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be getting blasted for that. But
no, but I totally agree with you.
But I understand your point.
Most overrated.
I understand where you're coming from, where Genders only had one person to face so far.
Yeah, and that doesn't really make it a good title run,
right.
To be honest. You have to face other people to have a great title run, and I don't think they're ready to give that Indian flair, whatever you can call it,
right.
into their championship matches. I think it's going to be probably Jinder Mahal's greatest match ever. That's not because it's against Nakamura. But I have no belief in him winning only because it kind of then proves that Jinder Mahal wasn't that champion you were looking for. And do I want Jinder Mahal against Nakamura twice right now? No.
Well, let's see how the first one goes.
Right.
Because
I agree with you.
I'll say this. I think, therefore I am. No, in all seriousness, I think this match at Summerslam is going to ultimately decide for all of history, how we look at Jinder Mahal as WWE champion. If Nakamura can bring a good to very good match out of Jinder, then this will have been worth it.
Yeah,
but
and that is more or less what I'm expecting, and that's why I don't want him to have the title. So we can see if Jinder Mahal can work against somebody else that isn't as good as a builder as I would say Nakamura is. And I also kind of don't want Nakamura as a champion because it feels a little out of left hand. What I mean about that is that Nakamura lost his last pay-per-view match, then he won it again.
No, he won that match at Battleground.
Did he?
Yeah, that was by DQ.
Oh, yeah, it was count out.
Yeah,
wasn't it? Something stupid.
DQ count out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. But it's not a good way to win. Then he won it cleanly the day after, or not the day after, but
yeah.
But it feels like they haven't built him up enough to go against Jinder Mahal, and that's my only complaint about this match. I think it was a little too early to have Nakamura against John Cena, to be honest.
I
understand why they're doing it, but in a way I was hoping kind of it would be John Cena against Jinder Mahal, and Jinder Mahal winning in a fake way or in a cheap way or some way. Then you could have Nakamura.
I'll say this.
Because it feels like they haven't really written a good storyline behind it.
I'll say this. The international coverage that match is going to get for SummerSlam is going to be pretty good. Because you have Jinder Mahal, who's representing India, the 1.3 billion people of that country, and you have Shinsuke Nakamura representing Japan. You know, I would think that will be a good, media coverage as far as international goes for that match.
And I also feel like we're not going to have a title change because I believe there's going to be a title change in the main event, and I think this is going before the main event.
Well, well, let's talk about them. The other main event, because I call it a double main event. Because the other half of that double main event is the Fatal 4-Way.
Right.
And
here we're going to have a title change.
With that match, not to cut you off.
Sure.
Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
With Monday night, them putting in that little stipulation that if Lesnar loses the title at SummerSlam, that he is leaving WWE, and so is Paul Heyman. Is that almost a guarantee that we're gonna have a new champion, or is this just a twist where, Lesnar's still gonna be champion?
No, I think to be completely honest with you, I think Lesnar is done.
All right. Well, let me ask you another question, because we will make our picks in 2 weeks.
Right.
If this is Lesnar's last match in this run, does Lesnar take the fall? Because he's only been pinned twice in 5 years.
Yes, but only if it's the person I think is going to win that wins. Because then it makes sense.
All right. I'll say this. This card for SummerSlam right now is looking really good.
It is.
I mean, you got both of the main titles on the line, both of the women's titles on the line, the U.S. title on the line, the Cruiserweight title on the line. That's 6 matches right there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Intercontinental title gets defended. Maybe one of the tag titles gets defended. This is starting to shape up to be a good-looking SummerSlam.
It does. I think it's going to be one of the better SummerSlams.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not predicting that it's going to be the best because it's probably not. But it looks right now, especially with the funny things that's happening on SmackDown. I mean, that Fashion Police segment.
Oh my gosh, that was the best
segment in years.
Oh my god, I watched it last night on my phone. I couldn't believe how great that was.
I love Twin Peaks. So when they did the Twin Peaks twist on this, I haven't laughed that much in years. And it was freaking hilarious. I can't believe what they are doing with the Sanderson is funny. I mean, talking about boring people. Fandango and
Tyler Breeze.
And Tyler Breeze is so good together.
It's amazing.
Do you think we're going to have something Golden Truth against Dark Truth again? Golden Goldust against Dark Truth again?
No, I think that's done.
Is it?
I think so.
We haven't heard it from them for a while.
It's just a guess. I think that one's over.
Yeah. What other good matches do you think is going to be on?
Oh my gosh.
SummerSlam?
Well, we have to have Seth Rollins on that show.
Yes.
So I think you could make the Raw tag title match Rollins and Ambrose against Cesaro and Sheamus.
Oh. I would not mind that.
See, here's the thing, bro, and I can't believe I'm saying this about SummerSlam. There's going to be so many matches that there's going to be good wrestlers that are going to get left off of the show. I mean, alright, I'm going to pull up the card right now. I'm just going to pull the card up right now, just so, we have this discussion. Right now, for SummerSlam, we have the Fatal 4-Way. So we're counting the matches. We have the Fatal 4-Way.
Mm-hmm.
We have the WWE title match. We have both women's title matches. We have the U.S. title. We have the Cruiserweight title. And we got the P-break match, Randy Orton against Rusev. No offense to Rusev. So you got 7 matches right there. This is starting at 7 o'clock, I should remind everyone.
Right.
So, that means that you have to fit in, somehow, Rollins and Ambrose against Cesaro and Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
New Day against the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
Miz against somebody.
Don't you think it's going to be Miz against
Jason Jordan?
Jason Jordan?
Probably.
Yeah.
And then you also got to fit in Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. That's 11 matches.
Yeah.
Some of these are going to end up on the pre-show.
What do you know what's even more sad than Miz against Jason Jordan?
What?
Jason Jordan is going to win that title.
Ooh.
That is sad.
And then, and then there are guys who's gonna end up not being on this show.
I think the Fashion Police is going to have a segment.
They're going to have a segment. I agree with you there. I think
It's not the match.
I think Sami Zayn is going to be left out of SummerSlam.
Probably.
Mike Bennett is going to get left out of SummerSlam.
Probably.
Who else is going to get left?
What is the pre-show match, though?
They're going to have like 2 or 3 pre-show matches.
Yeah.
Is John Cena going to be involved? That's another factor. Is John Cena going to be involved in SummerSlam?
I don't think so.
Is Big Cass going to get involved in SummerSlam?
Big Show against
Big Cass.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have the Hardys. What are you going to do with the Hardys?
Yeah.
Oh my, I mean, they're making such a great card that you're going to end up leaving some interesting names out of the show.
The Lone Wolf.
Yeah, the Lone Wolf, Nia Jax.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Charlotte, Becky.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna.
Lana.
Wow, I'd hate to be in that locker room the day of SummerSlam, because those are going to be some unhappy people there.
And we're going to have an NXT takeover
the night before.
Yep.
And what I know at the moment, if I pull up the card, as of right now, these are the following matches. As of this moment, Bobby Roode against Drew McIntyre for the NXT title. Asuka against Ember Moon for the women's title.
Again.
There's a possibility that the Authors of Pain will defend the tag titles against Sanity.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your 3 title matches there. And then we don't know what else is going to happen.
Yeah, no, NXT TakeOver looks kind of boring. I'm not saying that it's going to be boring, but it looks like somewhat what we had last time.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
I don't believe Drew McIntyre is going to win at all.
Could they make that a triple threat match if they put Roderick Strong in there?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That could be the only way they save that main event. Nothing against Drew McIntyre, but that could be the only way they save that main event.
But Drew has have a better storyline here in NXT this time than he has had in his entire visit into Impact. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't even want to bring that up.
Remember when he was the champion in Impact? No.
I don't. He had it for a cup of coffee. He had it for a cup of coffee.
Yep.
Oh my. Well, you know what? We will get into SummerSlam and take over these next 2 weeks because we are getting closer. But something that we should update everybody on, Fro, is the G1 Climax. And today they completed night 12. So there's like 5 or 7 more shows to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with everyone. I'm going to wait till the last 3 nights to watch it. Because at this point, I have basically given up watching every night of this tournament. So we're going to give you guys the current standings as of this moment. Block A is a 4-way tie for first.
Mm-hmm.
Hiroshi Tanahashi, Tetsuya Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., and Tomohiro Ishii are all tied for first with 8 points. Then Hiroki Goto, Bad Luck Fale, Toji Makabe, and Kota Ibushi are all tied with 6 points. Yoshihashi has 4 points, and poor Yuji Nagata cannot mathematically get involved in this, he has no points. So he cannot win the block at this point, mathematically. In the B block, Kazuchika Okada is in first place with 12 points. Kenny Omega is second with 10. And then we have a three-way tie for third. Evil, Minoru Suzuki, and Sonata have 8 points. Tama Tonga, Michael Elgin, and Toru Yano each have 4. Juice Robinson has 2, and Satoshi Kojima have 0. So the bottom 2 are pretty much out of contention to win the tournament. Something I want to point out here, Fro, with Okada. And I'm surprised that this has not been brought up a lot. Okada has not lost a match in this tournament yet.
I know.
And I actually did some research because I was listening to another show, which I won't mention to not get Fro mad.
Come on, I don't hate them.
Okay,
like them.
All right, I'll mention it. Okay. Because Okada right now, like I mentioned, has not lost a match in this tournament. So the host was asking, has it ever happened before? Where one individual has run the table, I'm going to use the table for this, the entire G1 without losing a match. So I did some research, Fro. In the history of this tournament, because there have been years where they've done like single elimination and round robin, it's very confusing. But in the history of this tournament, 3 times has one individual gone the entire block without losing a match in the round robin format. 2 of them ended up losing the final match of the tournament. Only one person has ever run the table without losing a match the entire tournament. And for the I will mention it because I'm sure there are those who are wondering. Hiroyoshi Tenzan did that in 2006, where he ran he ran the table, never lost a single match in that tournament in 2006. So if Okada does it, he's going to be in rare air, but I think the main goal is for him to win the whole thing, if that is a storyline. So
good.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys up to date next week on how the tournament looks, because when we get to next week's show, I think it'll be the last 3 nights to go. So we'll be getting close to the end. All right, I want to plug the 2 shows that will be covered this weekend on our Twitter handle at WrestlingShow11. The first one is Chikarasaurus Rex from Chikara. They present Chikarasaurus Rex Flesh and Stone. This will take place at the Wrestle Factory in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tickets are still available if you would like to buy the tickets. Go ahead and get them now, because if you don't, the only other way that you can get the tickets is at the door the day of the show. And I've been to Chikara shows many times in the past. If you're considering going to this event, buy your tickets now. Do not take your chance at the door, because they're not going to let you in. This is going to be a pretty packed show. The main event for the Campeones de Parejas, Rory Gulak will defend the title again, or will challenge, the champion, Juan Francisco de Coronado. 8-man tag team action will see the Furries take on Kobold, Oleg the Usurper, and the smelly tag team, because, well, they do smell, they stink, of Crummels and Defarge. Dasher Hatfield will take on Murloc. Razorhawk will make his first defense of the Young Lions Cup as he defends against Everett Connors. Missile Assault Man will take on the Whisper. And trios action will see Bike Cops take on Hermit Crab, Cajun Crawdad, and Sloan Caprice. So that is
cool names.
So that is the card for that show. If you cannot be there, you can watch it on chikaratopia.com, or you can watch it on Chikaratopia if you got the Roku app. That's only $7.99 to watch that a month. So that is in the afternoon of this Saturday. That night, CZW presents Once in a Lifetime at the Flyers Skate Zone in Voorhees, New Jersey. Tickets are still available for this event, believe it or not, folks. You can get, because of how big this event is, the tickets are actually much more expensive. There are still tickets still available. If you'd like to get row 2 seating, it is $65. If you'd like to get general admission seating, it is $45. And if you cannot get to that event there, you can watch it on the High Spots Wrestling Network. Go to highspotswrestlingnetwork.com to sign up, and you can watch that event there. The main event, Atsushi Onita against the Bulldozer Matt Tremont. It is one of those funky like a monkey, exploding, no rope, barbed wire, Temple of Doom, Sunday Massacre Armageddon match. That's the best way I could put it. Other matches include Shane Strickland making his first defense of the CZW World Heavyweight title against former champion Masada. Leo Rush in his last match for CZW to take on the bad boy Joey Janela. Maxwell Jacob Freeman will defend the CZW Wired title. The aerial assault match will take place. A 3-way tag team match will take place with Storm of Entrails, The Awakening, and coming from Japan, Raijin Yaguchi and Hideki Hosaka. And you can, for $40, meet Atsushi Onita from 4 to 6 p.m.
Cool.
2 completely different cards, but 2 good-looking shows, I think.
Do you get a handshake for the door sitting?
I bet you get to take a picture with them, too.
Ooh.
I bet. Alright. Fro, I want to bring up a very interesting topic. Because I watched the latest edition of Bring It to the Table, which I enjoy watching.
Yeah, it's actually one of those few things that I try to watch from the network.
Because, they're getting rid of original programming. For those who haven't heard, the Edge and Christian show is canceled, which is sad, because we sort of got left on a tease for season 2, and we're not going to get that anymore.
Do you know why they are canceling original programming?
Budgets.
Budgets?
Oh, yeah, they are cutting back big time. I hope, and this is the old school fan in me, Fro, if they keep doing, budget cuts, that they get rid of the big Titantrons and the wrestlers, they just go through the curtains now instead of these big stages. Be like the early 90s when I was a kid. But no, but one of the topics that they brought up, and I think this is a good conversation for you and I, because we both do many podcasts. You do this show, you do Shark's Pond, and you do Another Digital Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows I do this show, The Scorecard, Shark's Pond. Those are the weekly shows. And then there's Nostalgia Crew, there's Untitled Movie Project, whatever I come up with,
Colosseum.
Pull of Sin.
Coliseum.
Oh, Coliseum Corner. That's right. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. And actually, I will mention them at the end of this episode. But anyway, are there too many wrestling podcasts right now?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
All right. Let's get into the conversation about this. Why do you think that there's not, or why do you say no to that? I'm just curious.
Because I think, for example, okay, I will give you a really good example. You have wrestling podcasts like yours that are small and independent.
Yes.
That aren't like, you don't follow a script, we don't discuss anything in front of it. You are the one, the front runner up.
There's no corporation behind it, basically.
Right. Then you have more like sponsored ones, like for example, Art of Wrestling. Then you have even Smart Wrestling Fans.
Yep.
To a certain degree. Then you have more like successful ones with what is the one Jerry Lawler? You have one. Yeah, there's a lot of ones. I'm saying there's not too many because it depends what you're looking for. Like we don't recap shows.
No, because everybody else does it.
Right. We talk a lot of interesting topics because we have time for that instead of recapping everything. And if I want to listen to recapping, I get a little, what can I say? I don't get bored, but if it's too negative or too positive even, I get a little irritated because I want to have my feelings around it.
Yeah.
And not get pushed by, like, you should mean this or you're stupid. And I think too many podcasts goes that way instead of like letting people have their own feelings about things.
Right.
Like if you for some freaking strange reason like the last SmackDown pay-per-view, I'm happy you did. I didn't. Like we had one commenting on it that it was one of his favorite pay-per-views of this year. Me and Bill gave it an F.
We hated the show.
Right. But we don't go around like saying you should feel this or should feel that because we are right. That's what I feel like most wrestling podcasts are missing. I feel like when people are like fanboys or get too involved with some wrestling podcasts, the opinion of the people that's there gets too much. I don't like that. That's why we don't have too many wrestling podcasts. We have too many big wrestling podcasts.
There you go.
Not small and independent.
There you go. That's where I was going. Because I was trying to think of my response to that question. You hit it on the nail. Because there really are, and this is not only with wrestling podcasts, but podcasts in general. There's three tiers. The first tier is the Ma and Pa shop, which is what this show is, which is what Another Digital Citizen is. We are the ones, and what I mean by we, I mean the small people. We are the ones who take time out of our day. We could be doing so many things. We could be going to
sleeping.
We could be
At
sleeping.
1 o'clock in the
Right.
Sleeping at 1
I
o'clock
could be
in the,
eating
in
dinner.
the night.
I could be eating dinner right now, but I'm not.
Right.
So, you have basically your diehards who will find the time out of their day to record, to do their stuff, to get it done. That's us. We're the blue-collar folks of the podcasting world. Then there's the next level, which is networking. And there's nothing wrong with networking. There really isn't.
No.
And that sort of goes with the sponsors too. I agree with you there. Like our Vantage Point, which I have mentioned. I love our Vantage Point. I think it is one of the freshest podcasts out there. Because it is not the same repetitive, boring, same old crap. Like other shows. And I'm not putting him down, but that's how I felt with Colt Cabana's podcast.
Yeah.
And I like Colt. I do. I think he's a funny guy.
No, but the art of wrestling was really good at sometimes, but it got repetitive.
Do you know where, and I'm going to be completely honest, you know where it jumped the shark with that show? When he did the Punk interview.
Yeah.
When he did the Punk interview about 2.5 years ago, and it literally broke the internet. Because, like, at that time it was like, oh, the Kardashians broke the internet. No, I'm sorry. The Punk interview on Cabana show broke the internet. Because it took me like a week to get that interview up.
Yeah, but it was a really good interview.
It was. But for me, after
you
that...
say what you want.
Yeah. But after that, it became the same old thing. Nothing against Colt. I like Colt.
Yeah.
And then another show that I really like, you could almost put it in the first tier and the second tier. It depends on where you want to put this at. The Old School Wrestling Podcast, where they don't do a weekly show. They probably do like 2 shows a month, and they review what it says in the title, Old School Wrestling. So you have that. And then you have the top tier, the big corporation ones. Technically there aren't any corporate podcasts, but if you go, okay, I'm gonna go to the Apple Tunes store or iTunes store, whatever they call it. You got TED, you have ESPN, you have NPR, you have Fox News, you have CBS, you have all these big conglomerates of media that are trying to take into the podcast game. And I understand, because, everyone is doing a podcast, which I understand. But as I have said before, and I will repeat this over and over again until it happens, at the end of the day, it will be the small podcasts, the mom-pop podcasts, the network podcasts, like Place to Be Nation, W2M Net. It's going to be those groups in the end that survive. Because eventually these big, networks are going to be, what? This is costing us too much money. We're not, it's not as popular as it used to be. Why are we doing this? So to answer the question, I don't think there are too many wrestling podcasts. It's like you said, Fro. Where you think there are too many is how it's presented. Where you know, someone could be, subscribed to 20 different shows, and they're all the same, where it's like, okay, we're going to talk about what happened on Raw Monday night. We're going to talk about what happened on Impact Thursday night. We're going to talk about Lucha Underground. We're going to talk about, all this stuff. And it's the same repetitive stuff week after week after week. And to be honest, I have never said this because I just actually thought of this. Until you, Fro, came into this show's life, I was doing the same old segments over and over again. Not that it was bad, but it always started with this day in wrestling history, which I still like. But it needs a break, And I remember years ago, I used to do a segment where I would go on the WWE auction site and tell people, okay, this is what is currently up for auction. And my mom is like, my mom's like, Bill, you might not want to do that anymore. And she was right. If you go with change, good things will come for you. You just have to accept change. That's why if you don't like a podcast where some 17 or 20-year-old guy who never has worked a day in his life, has mom and dad's money, decides to do a podcast and say, oh, I am the foremost expert in the world of professional wrestling, and I know all this, and you don't like it, don't listen to him. And the one thing that I'm happy to say about this show is that from basically the beginning, it's always been double-digit downloads. There were times early where it was triple digits. Do I miss having triple-digit downloads? Yeah, of course I do. But it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. So, I think it's safe to say, Fro and I, we both agree the answer to the question, are there too many wrestling podcasts? The answer is no, but it depends on the style, I think. That's how I think it is. And it's the same with YouTube. It's the same with YouTube. YouTube is like, if you got somebody on there who hasn't gone outside in 15 years, and they're like, oh my god, it's the worst match I've ever seen. I'm never gonna watch WWE again. And then they review it the next week, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm never gonna watch WWE again. Why watch them? So.
Now that's one of the reasons why I think I never talk about like things I don't like. I of course I bitch about it, but I don't go on and on and on.
Exactly.
And I definitely don't see it the next week.
Right.
Like I learn from my mistakes. It's a little like one of my least favorite shows of all time. We talked about this on another digital thing. We had shows that we hate, but everybody else likes.
Yeah.
And, everybody else likes, but we hate. And my number one is Game of Thrones.
Right.
My number one was Game of Thrones. I hate Game of Thrones. I know of people that loves Game of Thrones. I read the books. I read every single book of Game of Thrones. But when it came to the TV show, I did not like it. So guess what? I don't make a Game of Thrones podcast.
Right. Don't make videos about it.
Super annoying listening to me going on like, oh, this stupid dragon. Oh, this stupid people. Oh.
All right. I'll give you one for me, and it's a little different because I have to explain this. Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that first season on Netflix. Loved the first season. That's probably one of the best seasons of any TV show I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I get into the second season. And I've heard this with people in the past. I lost interest in season 2. So at that point I was like, I'm not really watching it. I mean, some of the people on the show are hot, don't get me wrong. You know, some of the women are hot on that show. But I stopped watching it. And I can live with it. Another show that I'm going to add, and I'm only going to add this because, you know, I'm the pesky little brother, Friends. I never understood what made Friends so popular. I understand it was aimed at women, you know, but I never understood why it was so popular. Never did. All right. Well, I think we ended that on a good note, I think.
Oh, definitely.
So let's do the plugs for everything. If you have any questions or comments, send an email, wrestlingman@thatwrestlingshow.com. You can follow the show on Twitter at WrestlingShow11. That is where you can follow all the events this Saturday at both Chikara and CZW. Join our Facebook group, type in That Wrestling Show, and you are right there. And if for some reason you can't find us, click on the link in the description box, and you are right there. Visit the website, thatwrestlingshow.com, for the best news, reviews, and opinions in the world of professional wrestling. And please, please, please go and visit my Patreon page, patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts, to help support not only this show, but many other shows. So next week, Fro, is the 300th episode of That Wrestling Show.
Woohoo!
And you know how we're going to celebrate the 300th episode of this show?
Doing the same thing we did this week?
Well, yeah. But we're going to be live on Facebook, or at least I will be. I don't know if Ro will or not. And I have a topic for next week. And I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking on this one. And you can too if you want, Fro. The topic for next week is where wrestling has changed from when this show began 6 years ago in 2011 to today. 6 years is a long time, folks.
Yep, we had some ups and we have some downs.
Ooh,
Is
yeah.
wrestling better now than it was 6 years ago? It's an
Yep.
interesting topic.
Yep.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about, that's going to be the main thing we're going to talk about. Also, we'll give you an update on the G1 Climax, and if anything else pops up. Oh, yeah, we're going to announce another winner for the trivia.
Yeah, but are we going to have a guest, maybe?
Ooh, for the 300th show. Ooh, my.
Maybe.
I might have to dig deep into the bag for that one. So we'll see.
Who was on show number 1?
Just me.
Was it only you?
It was only me.
Only you can make my heart go on. Only you. Yes.
So, on that musical note, everybody have a good, safe weekend. If you're going to either Chikara or CZW, have fun going to those shows. Please be safe. And when you are done doing whatever it is you do, come back next week for the 300th episode of that wrestling show. For Fro, I'm Bill. This has been That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And as always, wrestle on.
Wrestle on!
Bye.